Hi everyone, Corey Thorne, spiritual and intuitive guide, empowerment life coach. Um, I'm just joining back into my YouTube channel after taking a little bit of a break. It was a well-needed time off. I've been going through many of my own changes. As everyone knows, when we work as spiritual healers, we are also very much human, and our human sometimes gets forgotten, and we forget to take care of ourselves, and we forget to do the things that we need to do for us. And so I have made a choice to do some things for me, and I have a crying cat on the floor who's not who's not very happy with me right now. And she's not very happy because she got a really bad haircut that I did, and I'm a hairdresser. And so in my time off and in the break that I've been taking, I've still been teaching workshops. I've still been doing individual sessions, but I've taken some time to really step inward and ask myself some really tough questions, along with working with an amazing woman who is the owner of the SWAT Institute. Her name is Crystal Morissette. And finding my brand, who I am, what I am, but also doing some big healing work around who and what I am beyond this human, and being accepting of all parts of me that I spent a lot of time trying to separate from my channel, trying to separate from myself, identifying myself, by some of the characteristics of our zodiac and who we are. And I'm a very strong fire sign, and finding myself apologizing for my strong, powerful self. I got a Band-Aid. I cut myself as well. Reminders that I'm human, that I bleed like everyone else. But really, there goes the ugly haircut. She don't know because she's so confident that she thinks she's beautiful. So, and so what's really, sorry. So as I've been going through this, and as I have been channeling through this place and through this energy of really knowing that really accepting and embracing all that I am as a spiritual healer, as a spiritual teacher, not a guru, because that takes a lot of levels to ever get there, ever. I'm not that. I work through the mystic plane. I work through communicating messages, and the messages that I bring forth are also messages for me. So a lot of those messages are written messages, and I've spent a lot of time writing those messages. And so I've been going back and I've been reading those messages because I've been so busy trying to be enough for everybody, so busy trying to complete everything, and so busy just trying to be there, that I had forgotten that there's been a lot of things that have happened, that are things that I've had to grieve, and moments that I've had to grieve, and some losses of some very dear people in my life that I've had to grieve and go through. And I wasn't taking the time to really be there until life caught up and crashed into me and just said, you know what, you have to pay attention. And you have to really start to embrace and love all that you are. And so what comes to life for me, and what I find myself really working in right now, is really working in the root system of who we are, why we do what we do as healers, and how this whole sense of, and if you follow my Facebook page or my Instagram, you see I wrote about that, God consciousness has not been calling up on us. We were actually calling out. And we were calling out for help, and we were calling out for guidance, and we were calling out to help us through. And sometimes we've been in so much pain, we've been calling out for God consciousness to take us away from this earth, take us into another dimension, another life, whatever it may be, but to remove us from the pain and from the anxiety and from the judgments and from all those things that have been taking place in this world. We've been really in this past year, in this negative energy, this. Now, don't get me wrong, there has been lots of beautiful things as well, but we have been challenged and we have been pushed, and it has been a lot of work, and it has been a lot of ridicule, a lot of judgment, a lot of hatred, a lot of everything. And it's hard not to get caught up into it. It's hard not to become a part of it. And so when I felt myself becoming a part of it, I knew it was time to step away. And when I stepped away and I really started to explore the whole what I was calling up on. And I mean, I was calling, and I know I was calling up on something that was beyond me. And that is my belief, my faith, my trust in God consciousness, in the angels, in the guides, in everything that's out there, that's higher consciousness, to really allow me to step back, to heal the human, but also to heal my broken spirit, to heal the broken spirit. And that's a lot of work. And it gave me a new understanding. And you start to develop, when you really start to allow yourself to know you've never been misaligned. We're never misaligned. You're never misaligned with your spirit. You're just forgetting that you're one. And when we try to separate ourselves, and when we're trying to, live as this other self and it all starts to crumble. And finding that strong sense of what your foundation should look like. And what we start to discover is that your higher self, your lower self, the mid-world, all that we live in is all one. There's no divide. There's no connect. There's no disconnect. There's none of that. And so it's the same thing that we have in society, and then we have in life, and we have in love, and we have in hate, and we have in judgment, and we have in fears. It is all still aligned and linked the same way. Our channels, our spirits are all same linked as us. It is all energy. And the more we start to become separate, and the more we come from a place of separate, and the more we come from a place of trying to attack and trying to bring one down, or trying to be better than something else, or trying to take something else down, the more that we actually start to create a vortex of energy. And the more we step up and try to heal the world all at one time by being angry and using the F you, I'm going to change the world, F you if you don't agree with me, F you if you have a different view than me, F you if you don't think of life the same way. The more that we get caught in that kind of an energy, we are no different than the anger. And that's when we become a part of the anger. We're not a part of the solution. We're not a part of peace. We're not a part of the healing. We are a part of the human behavior that is taking place. And we are going to be human, so we're going to have human moments. But it's recognizing it, making a choice, making an agreement with yourself. And I had to go back, and I had to sign myself a new agreement with myself that I would acknowledge my wrongs. I would step up and say to myself, is this serving you? Is this what's working for you? And you need to do that in your lives. And we sometimes have to do that with some of the most, what we think is the most beautiful roles we have in our life, or the most beautiful relationships that we think we have. How much of yourself have you lost in raising your children? How much of yourself have you lost? And even if it's the happiest freaking marriage, how much of yourself have you lost in being that when you give of your all, and you give them all that you have, and you lose every piece of you until one day you wake up and say, I'm depleted. I am done. Well, the world has done that. Mother Earth has been there. Mother of all goddesses have been there. We have all been there, and we're all in that same energy. And we have a new energy about to take place. We have a new portal that's about to open. We have the masters of the masters. We have the divine of the divine, all starting to come to life, all starting to open up new portals and waking us into a new level. What level do you want to stay at? Do you want to stay as the student? Do you want to step into a master? Do you want to say, you know what, I'm finally ready to surrender. I'm finally ready to let go. I'm finally ready to move and to start to build a healthier foundation. And a healthier foundation, before we can build a healthier foundation in the world, is that we have to build a healthier foundation within ourselves. Taking back your power, claiming back the power that you are one and you are aligned with who your true essence is, which is the spirit, and that you are here having a human experience because you are an incredible spirit who arrived in perfection and in the likeness and the love of God. You did not come faulted. You did not come broken. You did not come judged. You came perfect. And you came with the most important thing at all. You arrived with pure love. So if you arrived with pure love, how did you ever lose your love? How did the love ever slip away from you? It never did. It was the illusion. It was the beliefs. It was the world. It was everything that ever told you that you were not worthy. It was everything that ever told you that you were not enough. And this is truly the essence of the time, with everything that's happening, with the full moon about to approach again, with the fact that we're in a fire sign now in Sagittarius, and how the planets are aligned and retrograde moving into Aries. There's fire all around us, and I just keep seeing fire circling. And I see the goddess energy awakening even stronger than ever, as if they're sending wind, into the mix, to ignite a fire within yourself, whether you're male, female, doesn't matter, but it's about owning that feminine energy to really love yourself and hug yourself and say, I am worthy, to really allow myself to step into the master role of what I am here for. And that is to be one with our spirit, one with yourself, and to let go of the things that have hurt your heart. And that does not mean that you let go in the way of attacking or being cruel or being mean. You can forgive. You can say, I did wrong. You can acknowledge those moments. But it's not about beating yourself up. It's not about saying, hey, I was the most horrible mom in the world, so now I'm going to go out and I'm going to be the best mom because I'm going to buy him everything and I'm going to give up myself and I'm going to torture myself for the rest of my life because 20 years ago I wasn't the best mom. This is about saying, hey, you know what? I'm not even that woman now. I'm not even that person now. I'm not the person I was a week ago. I'm not the person I was a month ago. I am not that person, so I can't keep apologizing for that. What I can do, and what I can do, and what you can do, and what everyone can do for ourselves, is to step into a place within ourselves that comes from peace, love, and non-judgment for ourselves, to bring more peace, love, and joy into the vortex that's within ourselves, that's in the core center of our hearts, so that we can radiate love, so that we can become more love, so that we can be kinder, so that we can be gentler, all so that in the end, if there's millions and millions of us that start to come from that, imagine the change that we will then make in the world. And having a faith and having a trust that there is something beyond us, there's something bigger than us, stepping into place of knowing that God consciousness loves us regardless, and that we arrived in the perfection, in the pure sense of love, and that at any time in your life, miracles can start to happen. And that every day that you get to breathe, every day that you get an opportunity to have a breath, is a blessing, because you're still here to breathe. You're still here for an opportunity for a fresh start every day, knowing, beyond knowing, that miracles are going to happen. Life is going to change. Life is going to give you what you need. Life is going to supply endless possibilities, endless beauty, endless love. Everything that you need is already here. You have to know that you're worthy to step up in it. You have to know that you're worthy of owning it. And you have to know that you never, ever are separated from the divine sources, the divine connections that are ultimately a gift from God that have been given to you to help you through and away into the old knowledge, into the old world, so you do not live in fear in this world. So you do not come from a place of being so afraid of what this world has to give and have to offer. The world has to change. We are a part of the change. The more that you resist, the more that we resist, the more that we get stuck in ways and mushrooming ourselves from the world and say, well, this is what I've been like my whole life. This is what my family was like. Well, that's not helping. Change is inevitable, and change is going to happen with or without you. If you choose to not be a part of your change, if you choose to sit in the same old energy, if you choose to be angry at the same people, if you change to fester about the same shit, nothing will change in you, but everything else will change around you, and everything else will start to move forward. You will be left back here. Where do you want to be? Do you want to be sitting in the back seat in the fear, or do you want to be in the front seat, enjoying the view, living life to the fullest, sitting in your beauty, sitting in your love, sitting in the love of life that you're here to enjoy in this human world? I've made a choice. And it's taken a lot to make a choice. It took losing my hair, having an illness I can't fix. It has taken losing a lot of my health. It has taken a lot of tough lessons to get to the point of saying, I am finally ready. I surrender to the point of knowing that I have sacrificed a lot of myself to just be liked, to just be enough in people's worlds, and just saying, kind of screw it. I'm just going to be enough for me. And I'm going to own all that I am, all that my channel is, and I'm going to stay connected. And I'm not going to live in fear and judgment of what people will think because I communicate to spirit or I talk to the dead or that I'm a medium. I'm not going to hide all of who I am or that I have a strong personality. I'm going to own all of that. And I'm going to own that I'm a fire sign. And I'm going to be okay with all of that. And to really step in and own and feel that you are blessed just to be here and to take your breath. Don't back away from who you are. Don't be afraid of who you are. But find kindness and compassion for yourself. And the moment you start to find it for yourself, you will project a lot less anger out into the world. And know, beyond know, that miracles are happening every day. Miracles are taking place around us. And sometimes all you have to do is ask. You have to ask from a place of knowing that there's something beyond us, and all they're asking is for you to have hope. Bad things will always happen. Life is going to happen. But there's many still good blessings that are taking place. And it's okay to know that you have to go back into the underworld and you have to experience from that place and you have to explore the underworld. You have to explore. Part of the spiritual growth is not about the fluffy bunnies and living in the clouds and living in our angel wings and we're flying high and blah, blah, blah. We have to go to the underworld. We have to sometimes go into the darker places of ourselves. And yes, I am one of those people that speaks of Lucifer the angel and of how that is facing our shadow self, facing the darkness in us all. And we all have darkness and we all have those things. And if you're one of those things, I would never, that's not who I am. I'm not like that. And then quickly, you're quick to jump on somebody and blah, blah, blah. That's your shadow. Owning our shadow, owning where we have been, owning what causes us fear, the fear that we live in, that's shadow self. And that we're sometimes being faced with our shadow so that we can acknowledge it, heal it, and move into our true self. Part of the work that I do, the being you, the more than existing work, I have so many works on the go, the more than existing work is that you have to really face the shadow self to be able to move beyond the shadow self. Because picking up the corner of the rugs and sweeping life underneath and sweeping everything under and saying, no, I never experienced that, or no, my life wasn't like that. Bullshit. Life is what life is. And you sometimes did not ask for this stuff. You didn't ask for the shit that happened to you, but it did happen. And if it didn't happen to you, but you heard the stories your whole life, or you were raised in a generation or a time when they lived in such fear that they instilled that fear upon you, then you're a part of the story. This is the time when we start to break the stories and we start to change everything, when we start to go into the underworld and we start to face the fears so that we can move forward into our true self and start to live in that light. So as I move forward, the contract that I've signed myself, that I, for me, will live as my authentic self. And I will never hide my channel. I will never step away from what I do. This is now me. This, I always say, and what I've been saying lately is this is my full-time me. As good as it gets, it's my full-time me. I might be a half a head of hair compared to what I used to be. I'm aging. Life is happening. Shit is happening. I might even be a little more outspoken than I was. But whatever it is, it is. And that's a part of spiritual growth. But the one thing I can tell you is that I still work from my heart. My love and passion and compassion will always be my people and what I do, and knowing beyond know that my faith gets stronger every day, because every day I find a new piece of me to fall in love with. What is the new piece of you that you will start to fall in love with? And I invite you to start to do this right until January. Every day, wake up and find a new piece of you. Look in the mirror, look at yourself, look beyond yourself. What is something of you that you can start to fall in love with and start to ripple the effect of what pure love means and what loving ourselves mean, so that then we can really start to become a change in this world. One thing. Find one thing. Thank you. So much love to you all. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for being here during all of my ups and downs. I look forward to working with you all. Much love. And I look forward to also getting out my new website and all that stuff that will come in the next few months. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you all. Have a wonderful weekend. And remember, we are coming into 11/11/11. The portals are opening. The Masters, the Divine, is all bringing change and growth. Step into the change, step into the growth, and remember to love you so that you can love the world better. Thank you. Bye-bye.